Have you ever started learning something new? Maybe it's coding, playing guitar, or launching a side hustle, and thought, why is this so much harder than I expected? You're watching tutorial after tutorial, reading all the blogs, buying the books, and yet somehow you're still stuck. Your progress feels slow, frustrating, and full of dead ends, like you're moving forward one day and 2 steps back the next. It's kind of like driving on a bumpy road filled with potholes. You're trying to get to your destination, but every time you hit one of those hidden craters, it slows you down, or worse, totally derails you. Now imagine this. What if you knew exactly where those potholes were before you even started driving? You'd steer clear, drive faster, and probably enjoy the ride a whole lot more. Well, that's what today's video is all about. I'm going to share with you a super simple strategy I like to call the Pothole Avoidance Method. It's something I personally use every time I start learning something new, and it has saved me so much time, energy, and disappointment. If you've ever wasted time learning something the hard way, hit that like button so I know I'm not alone. And while you're here, go ahead and subscribe. We've got 2 more powerful learning hacks coming up in upcoming videos. And hey, drop me a comment below. What's the hardest thing you've ever tried to learn? Seriously, I want to hear your war stories. Let's help each other avoid those potholes. 1. The learning road is full of hidden bumps. Here's the idea. Learning any skill is like traveling down a road. Some roads are smooth, like learning to use a microwave. Others, not so much. The more valuable the skill, the rougher the road tends to be. Trying to learn calculus? Start a business? Master the violin? Yeah, that road is filled with potholes, aka common mistakes, confusing parts, and totally avoidable time wasters. And if you don't see those coming, you're going to hit them hard. 2. The goal. Spot the potholes before you start driving. The smart way to approach learning is simple. Before you dive into any new subject, first take the time to figure out, what are the most common mistakes people make in this area? It sounds almost too simple, but trust me, it's powerful. Why? Because once you know where the potholes are, you naturally steer around them. You avoid wasting weeks going down the wrong path. You stay motivated. And best of all, you keep moving forward. 3. Real-life example. The startup illusion. Let me give you a quick example. A few years ago, I got really excited about the idea of starting my own business. Like a lot of people, I thought, all I need is a great idea, and people will just magically show up and buy it. Yeah, spoiler alert, they didn't. One of the biggest potholes in the world of entrepreneurship is the "if you build it, they will come" myth. But in reality, you'll spend 10% of your time building the product, and 90% begging people to even look at it. If I had just Googled common mistakes when starting a business, I would have seen that on every single list. But I didn't, and I paid for it in wasted time, money, and confidence. Now, whenever I want to learn something new, I spend the first hour not reading how-tos, but reading what not to do. 4. What I do every time I start learning something new. Here's the exact process I use now. 1. Go to Google. 2. Type in common mistakes when learning X, or things I wish I knew before learning X, or why people fail at X. Let's say you want to learn English grammar. Try searching biggest mistakes learners make when studying Spanish grammar. If you're learning guitar, common beginner guitar mistakes. Even with personal goals, like exercising, why most people fail to stick to a workout routine. You'll find gold, real stories, hard lessons, brutal truths that save you from making the same mistakes. 5. Why this works so well, and science backs it up. Here's the sciencey part. In psychology, there's something called error-based learning. It means we actually learn better when we understand what went wrong. When you know the common traps, your brain is more alert. You recognize red flags faster. You make smarter choices because you're no longer walking blind. Studies even show that people who reflect on failures, whether their own or others, learn faster, and remember longer. So yeah, learning from other people's potholes? It's basically hacking the learning process. 6. It works in every field. This method works whether you're a student or a professional. Learning to cook? Google common cooking mistakes beginners make. Preparing for an exam? Search why students fail the SAT or mistakes in exam prep. Trying to build habits? Look up why most people fail to stay productive. This tiny shift, starting with the negatives, can literally shave months off your learning curve. 7. Bonus tip. Do this before you even start learning. Most people wait until they've already failed to ask, what went wrong? But if you ask that before you begin, you're playing the game on easy mode. Make this your rule. Before I study any topic, I'll spend 15 to 30 minutes learning about the most common mistakes in that field. It's like scouting the road before you drive. Once you've seen the potholes, you'll never hit them the same way again. Let's quickly sum it up. The Pothole Avoidance Method is a mindset shift. Instead of jumping into learning head first, you pause for just a moment, long enough to spot the dangers ahead. You look at what others got wrong, so you can get it right. And when you do that, something incredible happens. You stop wasting time. You stop repeating avoidable mistakes. And you start learning faster, smoother, and with way more confidence. So next time you're about to learn something new, ask yourself, where are the potholes? And how can I dodge them before I hit them? Trust me, it'll change the way you learn forever. If you found this video helpful, smash that like button to show some love. Share it with someone who's starting a new project or skill. Subscribe for part 2 and 3 of this learning series. We'll explore the 2 other powerful learning methods next. And drop a comment below. What's one mistake you wish someone had warned you about before you started learning something new? Thanks so much for watching. Now go dodge those potholes and crush your goals. Have you ever looked at someone successful? Maybe they run their own business, or they're insanely talented at something you're dying to learn, and thought, man, if only they would teach me. Just once. Just sit down and show me the ropes. I'd be unstoppable. Yeah. Same here. But here's the deal. Getting truly skilled or successful people to spend their precious time teaching you. Not that easy. You've probably tried following their content online, DM'd them once or twice with no reply, maybe even bought their course hoping it'd feel personal. But the